Hey guys, hey, welcome to the first episode of All Things Reviewed. This is a podcast where we'll talk about everything that's going on in the world, celebrity news, events, different things, news that makes the headlines for us. So today, we'll just look at the Taylor Swift, Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni. Ryan kind of beef. See what's going on in the media there. Right. So here, just doing a review. This YouTuber is Dale Neal, so fair use. Just looking at what he's saying about the what's going on with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. So let's hear his point of view.
Comic and host of the Rush Hour podcast, and we have a breaking news story to get to right now involving Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively, and Ryan Reynolds. You can't make these stories fast enough. There is a TikToker who is really exposing the coordinated campaign between the New York Times and Blake Lively's camp, that smear campaign, we can buy anyone inside Hollywood smear machine. So what's so funny is they make a story about Justin Baldoni being a smear machine while they are the machine of all smears. So this is going to be very fascinating. This just crossed my desk. It's going super viral on TikTok from either this morning or late last night. Gucci Pooj on TikTok. Go give her a follow here. Great work. Is replying to someone's comment, the comment says, hey, this is all great, but did anyone check the metadata of the New York Times article? And everyone's like, oh yeah, the metadata of the New York Times article. So what they're going to show here is that the metadata shows that the article had the photos already saved and ready to go days before Blake ever released her initial complaint. Why is this important? Well, it just goes to show that they're not operating with any integrity whatsoever because they're coordinating with the news before the news breaks. And not only that, I'll show other examples of the New York Times, very specifically in this case, where they are not trying to get all sides of the story. I think when you want to be fair, and I've been accused on Blake's side and on Justin's side of being on the wrong team, but I just want to be fair. I want to get all sides of the story. I want every stone left unturned. Let's go to this TikTok right now. Have a listen to this.
Because of this comment, I now have extremely compelling evidence that Blake Lively actually gave New York Times her complaint before she filed it with the Civil Rights Department.
Wow.
It says, this is great research. I don't suppose anyone has checked the metadata on the images in the New York Times article.
And by the way, this is why the internet always wins. Did we check the metadata? And I didn't even know they had. What's meta? Go check it.
Yeah,
It turns
the
out
internet's too
the
powerful
internet.
right now. This is like an army of journalists. Like the internet's better than any journal or any media corporation right now.
Is undefeated. And here we have legacy media doing what they do, and then the metadata look, this is pretty damning.
The New York Times article. You beautiful genius. But it wasn't the metadata where I found the date. It's the fact that New York Times labels their hosted images with dates. And this image, if you follow the images linked in the New York Times article, each image is hosted with its own link. And if we zoom in right here, you can see that says December 16th, 2024, which means that unless New York Times mislabeled the date for this, New York Times had Blake Lively's complaint for at least 5 days before they published the article. And it's not just this one. All of the graphics that they used are hosted like that. This one is dated December 20th, December 20th, December 18th, and then this one is from the 21st. There was no date attached inside the actual metadata, or maybe I'm just not technically advanced enough to be able to find that. Why does any of this matter? Well, because Blake Lively's team are trying to say that Justin Baldoni's team are the first people that leaked this information to the press. And yet somehow on the 16th of December, they're able to make the headline image.
No. It's a whole misunderstanding. You see, the New York Times are actually time travelers, so they forgot that they had already gone into the future to see this story play out, so they went into the past, they got their dates messed. Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see here.
I already knew because of the timeline, New York Times essentially had to have it in advance. Now I feel like we just know a little bit better about when they definitely had it by.
Yeah. We knew it, right? We knew on the timeline that they didn't go through the process of writing a story, fact-checking it, running it through their legal departments, the editors, the graphics artists. They didn't do any of that. They had the story before, and we knew that. It's just funny when you see blatantly how this plays out. This reminds me of the time when we were covering Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, and I was able to prove that NBC News had edited two different, the same interview into two different clips and selectively took words out which changed the tone and structure of the interviews. In the morning episodes, they did it all bright and cheery, and in the evening Dateline, they did it with a blues scale and made it more dramatic. And it's like, you can't do that. This is why podcasting is so popular. This is why channels like mine exist, because you don't get all of the coordinated things. You just get shooting from the hip, here's my take, right? And it's pretty damning because Justin's side didn't even get appropriate time to respond.
I think this is proof that they had it at least before the 16th of December, because they did have to develop this graphic. And by the way, it's really important who gave it to the media first, not who published it first, because the actual rule of professional conduct, Rule 3.6, which Blake Lively's team is trying to say that Justin Baldoni's team violated, in the part where it talks about when you can defend yourself, a lawyer can make a statement to protect their client if there's a publicity.
Yeah, on that note too, they're trying to do a gag order on Justin Baldoni, which is kind of weird since they leaked the information. But the way I see this whole thing going, I'm not sure if I'm believing Blake Lively right now. And now I've always seen like Ryan Reynolds is funny, but I think the power got to him. And then that we'll review the Deadpool nice pool. I think that was really a shot to Justin. So we'll review that later on. But let's continue.
Publicity not initiated by the lawyer or the lawyer's client. Not initiated. And I think initiated is the important word. It doesn't say published, it says initiated. And if the New York Times started making graphics for their articles by the 16th of December, I think it is very clear who initiated the release to the media. I mean, it was clear before this, but now we at least have a date. Okay, love you guys. Drink water. Bye.
Wow, drink water, bye. I'm drinking cold brew today. This is hot off the press. You guys understand how big this is? Leave a comment, let me know. Is this as big as I'm making it out to be? This is kind of why I love these cases, because, you clearly can have well, he said this and she said that, but hey, metadata doesn't lie. Right? For those of you that have been following us in our previous case, we've been covering Bachelor Clayton Echard, who is accused of being the father of someone's unborn twins. The twins never showed up. She made up the whole thing. We exposed medical fraud, Fiverr logos, cancer fraud. It's going to be a whole documentary someday, trust me. So you're hitching yourself to the right wagon as far as the types of channel that I think we can, do a good job here of showcasing how absurd this can be and how basic people on the internet can just crack the case. Looking at the metadata, looking at the names of images. No, they went back on the images and resaved them to a different date. Okay, sure. So with Clayton Echard's case, we were able to prove that the lady who faked ovarian cancer, she said, "Oh, I never faked ovarian cancer. We spent $5,000, raised a bunch of money, and we got a forensic computer expert to look at the metadata and show like 3,000 pages of PDFs showing she lied."
I think that's going too far. Let's leave it there. Let's see if we could find. Well, let's hear this audio. See what happened with this audio.
Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal,
Okay, same
stand-up
guy.
comic and host of the Rush Hour podcast with a breaking news story to get into. I was literally just on a walk with my family. I
28
said, get
minutes
back
ago.
inside.
Okay,
We need
so
to
this
get
is
into
pretty
this right
fresh.
now. We have audio that reveals the phone, voice note that Justin Baldoni sends right here, 6 minutes long. I'm about to play it for you. It's the voice note he sends to Blake Lively addressing the It Ends With Us rooftop scene feud. Rather than tell you what it's all about, here's the version, 6.5 minutes. Let's play it. We'll pause where needs be. Again, hit the subscribe button for all breaking news stories. This is absolutely wild on a Monday afternoon.
Hey, Blake. It is 2 in the morning. Hopefully this does not wake you up. Whew.
Wow.
Wow. There's so much I want to say to you, and I hope that we can FaceTime or see each other in person soon and get to talk more. But I'm just going to send you a few thoughts, and hopefully it's not going to be more than a few minutes. But
6.5.
I don't have the best track record I don't think either one of us have the best track record for our voice memos. I want to start with an apology. Man, reading the second part of your message, my heart sank. And I'm really sorry. I for sure fell short. And you worked really hard on that. And the way you framed it and how that made you feel, I just want to say thank you for sharing that with me. That takes a lot of trust and vulnerability. And
Is this Hollywood talk?
I feel really grateful that you feel safe enough to tell me that that's how you feel and share that with me. And I'm really sorry.
Now, you might say that apologizing means you're sharing your guilt for whatever. To me, so far, before we get into more context, it feels like, I'm so sorry, I had no idea. It feels like an I had no idea apology type of thing.
Up. That is a fail on my part. One thing you should know about me is I will admit and apologize when I fail. I am far from perfect. I'm a very flawed man, as my wife will attest.
And this is Hollywood talk.
And I'm gonna up. I'm gonna say the wrong thing. I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth.
And you might be wondering what this is all about. So they say this is the astoundingly nice and gentle guy groveled to Blake for 6 minutes after she had threatened him and ambushed him with her dragons, Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift. All right, so he goes to Taylor Swift's place, right? Excuse me. He goes to Blake Lively's place to have a meeting, and that's where he, I guess, feels like, he realizes that again, I don't know if this is the night where Ryan Reynolds yelled at him, but he says he had never been spoken to like that. And a Sony executive who has worked there for 30 years also said they've never seen someone talk someone down or yell at someone that way. Those in Ryan's camp say he wasn't yelling. Again, we don't have any actual audio yet of that happening, but here is hours later.
One night, after staying back late at his clinic doing admin, Dr. Tom was buried alive by his patient notes.
I'm gonna you off probably, but I will always apologize and find my way back to center. That is one thing I can assure you of. And I'm sorry I made you feel that way. That must have felt terrible. And I will for sure do better. That was not my best.
I wish we
weekend,
could get through this corporate speech and get to the heat of the matter.
And damn right, you got great friends if that's how you felt and they knew that. And we should all have friends like that, aside from the fact that they're two of the most creative people on the planet.
He's scared of
the three of you guys together is
Ryan
unbelievable.
And Taylor.
Talk about energy and just force.
So stick around. I'm going to share right after this in the next 4 minutes the text messages that were sent leading up to this moment here.
Three of you. But I just wanted you to know that I didn't need that because it's really good and it's going to make the movie sing like you said, and I'm excited to go through the whole movie with you. I think you and I have been trying to build a relationship, which I think we've done successfully. I mean, here we are talking like this.
Justin, it's your friend from the future. No, this did not work out. Hey, I appreciate his optimism.
Me into my phone at 2 a.m, but largely via text and voice note. And I will be honest with you, that is not my biggest strength. I love being with people and being in somebody's space and being face to face, and I feel like that's where I excel, and definitely fallen short at times in our text and voice note exchanges because there's so much to communicate and there's so much happening, and all that to say, I'm just really looking forward to spending time together. And I think that's going to really go a long way for our chemistry, which I believe is there and has been there from the start. So I was so damn excited when you wanted to do this film. I felt it in the room when we met. And I think it does come from the both of us being so fucking hardworking and having a vision and not settling. And I'm excited to have a creative partner in that with you. And it's just really exciting. There's so much more to say. There's so much I want to say. And there's one thing that I do need to say, which is, I am so sorry you have been through what you've been through with these other filmmakers and producers or whoever the people.
This is after she said, people don't give me credit where it's due. And, it's clearly there's a lot of pain there. I believe that. I believe Blake probably felt that way, where she's not respected more than a pretty face in a movie. I mean, you want to be thought of as more than that.
Or that you worked with, and it just me off. Those heads that, I'm just still kind of blown away that this is the industry that we're in, and that you've experienced that as a woman. And
wow,
Yeah, this is about the messages she had, saying that she has Taylor and Ryan who are creative, and she doesn't want to be blown out by another director, so on, so on, so on.
I know I don't need to say it, but that's not at all going to be, or will be, and hopefully it's not been the experience with me. There's nothing more exciting to me like that I get to work with Blake Lively and have her, all of her. I mean, that's what I want. And so there's been no hesitancy with me sending you the final draft file. I am totally fine with that. The only reason I didn't send it today was because I was trying to implement and add your notes into my working draft, which is already like, I'm all over that draft right now. So there's a whole bunch of new stars that are going to be collated pages. And I just haven't had a chance to send it to you, but there's no hesitancy. I'm happy to send it to you, and I'm sorry that has happened to you before, and I hope after this experience there will be a new, I don't know. I hope it'll be healing in some way, because that's all I want. I want this movie to be healing. I want this movie to be commercial, just like you, and affect people and touch people. And I want to walk you through my whole plan and the work that we're doing with the domestic violence partner that we found, No More, and just my vision. And I just know that this can be really, really special, and it's going to be special. And you're the secret sauce, and we're the secret sauce. And anyways, I have so much more to say. I'm going to stop rambling, because Jesus Christ, it's been 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So me. I'm sorry. You probably have kids all over you and a baby on your boob, and you're listening to me ramble at 2 a.m. I hope you're feeling better, and give Ryan my love. Thank you for sending me that. It means the world to me that you trust me with your feelings and your thoughts like that. And I can't wait to spend more time with you. Okay, I'm done cutting myself off. Good.
Wow, so there it is. And by the way, I mean, how beautiful is his voice? I would love it if he had a podcast where he just talked to me. All right, I'm airdropping to myself right now. Here is the, again, from Citizen Journalist, C Journalist 24, says, breaking, new audio drop shows Justin groveling in apology to Blake Lively for responding to her rewrites by saying it will be a mixture of both his and her ideas. Unsatisfied, she unleashed a lengthy wall of text, which to me seems like a threat. So here are her text messages. Again, we've already covered all of this, but so this is from Blake. As for Redacted and Ryan and Redacted, maybe Taylor Swift for that matter, I'm the luckiest mother effer on the planet to have them as my dance moms level stage moms. They are embarrassingly effusive. That said, they're also my most trusted partners and the people I go to first with anything creative I touch. And I'm the person they each go to first. That reciprocal creativity and support has been one of my life's greatest and most fulfilling gifts. When they loved and signed off on the pages, I felt good to send them to you. They asked what you thought specifically after. They checked in so many times. I told them that you laughed a bunch and said it's probably a blend, but you appreciate my passion so much, which of course didn't feel great to me or them to have my passion be praised instead of my.
So he's just reading out the text right now that Blake sent Justin, and then this is pretty much the video. The audio before was his response, and this is the long message he sent him.
Civic contribution, or even just that you didn't like the pages, which was fine also. So I think they wanted you and me to see how they felt about the work because they've been by my side for far too many experiences where I've been overlooked. I spoke to you about this when we first met. They've watched me handwrite scripts because the director is too afraid to send the FDX file, yet he scans and has someone hand type all 120 pages of my pencil rewrites, which, by the way, doubtful. They've watched me be hired as a writer and paid a significant fee for it, but on this condition that I never asked for credit, which I could give a shit about. It's more the principle of the dynamics at play. They've watched the other side of it too, where I'm told at signing on that I'm wanted as a true collaborator, but once we get to work, I'm really just
This AI tool will take your idea and create
Sorry
a
guys,
complete book,
another
complete with
commercial.
design, images, layout, everything, including the content, literally.
Wanted as a yes man, audience, and actor. Both Ryan and Redacted T have established themselves as absolute titans as writers and storytellers outside of their primary gig, singing or just acting, or Taylor just directing. I'm so lucky to have them as creative barometers, but also to have them as the people who prop me up and make sure I'm seen for all I can and do offer, because they know firsthand all I contribute. They also know I'm not always as good at making sure I'm seen and utilized for fear of threatening egos or fear of affecting the ease of the process. They don't give a shit about that, and because of that, everyone listens to them with immense respect and enthusiasm. So I guess I have to stop worrying about people liking me. Now here's the truth. You get a voice when you have enough equity to have a voice, you know, and sadly in this industry, I don't think it's maybe it is because she's a woman or an actor, but like if you're an actor in a project, you know, the writers think they're better than you. That's just like their own ego. So I can understand Blake here feeling like she's been left out in the past, but also if you're signed on and hired for a certain thing like acting, that's what you are. If you want to be seen as a writer, go write a script and sell it. You know what I mean? Like that's just the world we all live in. We've all acted, those of us that have acted, and we've had to step on the line and say the words they want us to say, and that's what you get. So I respect her going to the director, but in the end, he has final say. That's what they agreed upon. But again, so he responds to this. This is what he was responding to. She says, if you send me the FDX, I'll work when I can steal moments. And yes, of course, please send to Christy. We're all on the same team with the same goal. He said, great. Also was working on Rooftop Scene today. I really love what you did. It really does help a lot. It makes it so much more.
Yeah, so I'll leave it up to you guys. I think there's still a lot to unpack there. So let's leave it for now. I'll still do a bit more reviews and then go on from there. Oh, we'd have to look at this. So I'll do this in another video. Um, Jay Leno spills the tea about Blake Lively. That's pretty good.